It was a monster mash. It was a graveyard smash. Yes. No fire upstairs, Jordan. Holy crap! Is that Mr. Kipling's Halloween edition? That's right, folks. Jordan McFilmMyself here, and it's my favorite time of the year, Halloween. Halloween, it's just beautiful. It's the time I really get to embrace my dark side, my true emo side, and I get to sit down with some sweets, some chocolate, some milk, and I just sit down and I watch scary movies. And what's better in the world than scary movies? Ding ding ding, you guessed right, Mr. Kipling, Chocolate and Slime Halloween Edition is indeed better than Halloween. It's actually why I love Halloween so much, is because they really go out of their league to make it a special time for new products and experimenting with new flavors. So what has Jordan McFilmMyself got in store for you folks? Oh, this Jordan McFilmMyself Halloween special, I'll tell you what I've got in store. I'm gonna be having a marathon review session. Oh yeah! And we're gonna be talking about 5 or 6 of my favorite movies to watch at Halloween. Can I have a oh yeah? Oh, I forgot, I don't have any friends. So guys, grab your popcorn, grab your snacks, grab your cavity-inducing drinks, soda pops and stuff like that, and sit down, relax, and prepare to watch probably one of the worst videos in your entire life. Woo! Can I have a oh yeah? Yeah, Jordan McFilmMyself. I love your videos. I like to comment on your last video. Woo! Look at me. Love you, fans. I love my fans. Woo! Anyway, to start off this marathon review session, we're hitting it off with one of my maybe more culty, unpopular personal favorites. I'm starting with Saw 2004. This movie, I like it a lot. It's a really compelling horror movie, whilst also being, to some extent, a psychological thriller. It's more than what the sequels later came to be known as torture porn, just gore fests. Whereas this one has some of those elements, it also has so much more. It has a very thrilling plot, interesting flashback sequences, and 2 main leads that are really just fleshed out to their maximum capacity. And for all you horror fans out there looking for a good slashing bloody time, that's in there as well. You have some torture, as I said. You have some blood. You have the guy from The Princess Bride cutting off his own leg. You have the blood from that. You have James Wan, who's directing it, who is the only good mainstream horror director working today. You have a fat guy who's stuck in barbed wire and he dies. Serves him right for being fat. Up top, woo! You have his blood. There's a lot of blood, but there's also a lot of character, and a lot of heart, and a lot of very, very talented, low-budget filmmaking. It's a truly inspiring film for an inspiring filmmaker like me. That they made this movie, which looks quite professional for the most part, on just a $1 million budget. That's very, very impressive, especially seeing what they could do with this movie. It's a Halloween classic. It's got all the boxes ticked, and also it started a genre. This started a trend in Hollywood a trend in horror movies, the torture genre. This is the beginning of it all, and I think it's probably the best torture movie to date. Now for my next spooktacular Halloween horror movie review, I'm going to be joined by a very special friend. You can come out of the closet now, moron!
Are we reviewing Minions?
Oh, we're not talking about Minions. Take a seat, Mr. Bug Boy. I'll tell you what we're talking about today.
What are we talking about, Mr. McFilmMyself?
We're going to talk about every 7-year-old's worst nightmare. Coraline.
I hate this movie. I hate this movie. You don't understand, McFilmMyself. I absolutely hate it.
Why do you hate it? It's a great movie.
The showing buttons into the eyes bit, that was pretty scary. And the scariest part of that whole movie was the naked mermaids. Did you see the naked mermaids?
I did. I saw all of the naked mermaids. Every single part of them. A little more than I wanted to. But it happened.
I have never been able to lose that image ever since I was a child, Jordan. You don't know how much I don't want to review that movie.
Well, I want to review the movie. We cannot do it for me. We cannot do it for the McFilmers out there.
Guess I have to. But I'm not getting paid for this.
No, trust me. No one's getting paid for this. My videos aren't even monetized. Right, Joel, so let's talk about Coraline, the film made by the stop-motion company Leica. And let's talk about what makes it such a great movie to watch at Halloween.
I think Leica is a timeless franchise that will be timeless forever. And ever.
That's what timeless means. Yep.
When your children's children will be dead, this movie will still go, 'cause it's timeless.
It's a timeless Halloween classic.
Yeah. It didn't win a prize though. What do you call those, Jordan?
Oscar? I don't think it won any Oscars.
It didn't win an Oscar.
What a bummer.
Yeah.
Probably some lame Pixar movie got that one.
My little bug thing fell off, Jordan.
What is the thing you find most Halloweeny or most creepy in Coraline?
I think the Muller has a very good part in this. You know the creepy Muller?
Yeah,
not the normal one.
The alternative dimension mother.
Yeah, but she has like knife legs and she walks around and stuff.
She's like a spider or something.
Yeah, that's pretty scary.
It's pretty weird.
Yeah.
I thought.
Like my life.
Yeah.
Got any other questions for me, Jordan? Now we're
got the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Well, I personally, I think this movie is beautiful. The stop motion.
This movie is Tim Burton's worst nightmare. That's all I can say.
Yeah, because it ran him out of business. Do you know Nightmare Before Christmas?
Yeah.
That movie sucks.
Yeah, no color. You know what appeals to 7-year-olds? Color.
Color, because this movie has lots of color. A lot of gray, a lot of black, a lot of blood.
You're just quoting a Tim Burton film, Jordan. Gray and black.
Yeah, this movie is also gray and black.
I know, but it has a bit of flesh and
plenty of flesh.
Plenty of flesh and a lot of green in it and a lot of blue and a lot of colors. Actually, it has colors, Jordan.
But I think what really makes it better than Nightmare Before Christmas or other Tim Burton movies is that it's more cleverly written and you can look into it more, and it's darker and it stays more true to what it really is, rather than Tim Burton's movies, which are often more comedic than actually scary.
I didn't sleep whenever I watched this movie.
No. Well, I didn't watch this movie as a kid. I watched it with my massive cinematic mind only a year ago, and I watched it in that lens, and I thought it was really impressive. I wasn't scared. I could definitely see how it would unnerve plenty of kids, but
Especially me.
especially this young child. But definitely, it's a very impressive film, very surreal, very weird. And just because of that alone, I think it's a Halloween classic. Definitely, a modern Halloween classic.
A timeless Halloween classic.
Joel, look at the time.
I can't tell time.
I know. Well, anyway, it's the time for you to go. So, get out, please.
But what?
Let's just go. Come on.
But what about the other movies?
No, there aren't any other movies. They're all too old for you. You can't be watching Minions 18.
I have it right here.
No, you stole that from your mom and dad's room. We can't. Let me just take that.
Well,
just go. Thank you though. Thank you for your contribution to this video. Just go now. Thank you. I'm gonna be talking about big boy films now.
you'll regret this. You'll regret this.
Moving on from that, I want to get on to my next movie, which is The Babadook. The Babadook is an Australian psychological thriller that has a subtext that really fully explores the meaning of grief and what it means to grieve and how to get over that and what grief can do to a person. This movie is sometimes more depressing than it is scary. But that's not to say that this movie isn't hard to watch, because there are sequences in the movie that I was biting my nails, I was grinding my knuckles, and it really is, it's an intense ride. And I think as modern horror movie standards go, this is probably the best horror movie made in the last decade, and I'm not exaggerating. It really is just a very intelligently crafted film with excellent performances across the board. You have this young child actor and he absolutely delivers, more than anything I've seen in my life. And there's this gnawing tension. It's a well-paced film. It has intriguing characters, the two main leads of course, and the mother and son relationship in this film is just absolutely fully realized and fully fleshed out, and it feels real. Everything in this film feels real, and that's what makes it so scary, because it really does capture like the suffering and the grief that a lot of us will go through in our lifetime, and it paints it in a very interesting and stylistic way. The icon of the Babadook, I feel, as time will go on, it will progress to become very iconic within the horror business, among the likes of Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers. The Babadook, it's creepy the way it looks, and even more so what it means is even creepier. I love the Babadook. I implore anyone out there who hasn't seen it to watch it. It's definitely a very credible modern horror movie, and I absolutely loved it the first time I've seen it. But moving on from this modern classic into a fairly old classic now, I want to talk about Nightmare on Elm Street, the 80s horror Halloween classic. I absolutely love this movie. Wes Craven does an absolutely excellent job of creating probably one of the most fun experiences you can have with a horror movie ever with this premise. I watched this movie last Halloween for the first time, and I remember just being absolutely captivated by just how energetic it was, and also how, I guess how well it still holds up. People say this movie is dated, and whilst that is true to some extent, I still feel that the iconic lens that Wes Craven gives this movie is still there and it's still effective. There's so many sequences that are so memorable There's so many characters that you can really get behind. Even if they are not the most adept characters there are, they're still just so real and so well acted and very well written that you can really get behind them. And of course, the character of Freddy Krueger is just an iconic horror villain, probably one of the best to ever exist. He's an absolute blast to watch. I love all those catchphrases. No running in the hallway, Nancy! Amazing. I love him so much. I love this movie so much. I had an absolute blast watching it last Halloween. It still holds up really well. It's creepy. It's sometimes scary. It's sometimes tense. It's sometimes really, really funny to watch. It's just got so many things going for it. It is pretty much the essential horror package, all wrapped up in red and green. Another 80s horror classic that I really like to watch around Halloween, and another 80s classic that I watched last Halloween for the first time as well, is John Carpenter's The Thing, a remake of the 1950s film The Thing from Another World. This one far surpasses that, and I absolutely adore the pure craftsmanship of this movie. The practical effects are still some of the best I've ever seen. They are so grotesque, so creepy, and just so in your face, intimidating. And they're so well made. They look so real. It's incredible how they can make these things with their hands. You know, we rely so much on computers these days, when back then they didn't have so much of that technology, so they made the thing themselves and they made it real. And that's what really stands out by this, because really these effects are just the peak of what you can do with this medium. If you want to watch a very frontal, creepy, very physical horror movie, I would watch The Thing. It's like the perfect package for that. There's a lot of very creepy effects, of course, and there's a lot of blood, a lot of gore, but it's not too much. It never goes well, it goes over the top, of course, but in a very stylistically appropriate way. And of course, alongside that, to really balance it out, we have this kind of tension that just kind of drags out the film nicely. It really builds throughout the film. We can see these characters in the Lord of the Flies kind of fashion, turning against each other, being very cautious and not knowing who to trust. All the characters in the movie are very memorable, and they're all very well fleshed out, and they all have their own emotional arcs, which is absolutely great and such a rare thing to see. Also, the direction from John Carpenter is absolutely incredible, as it always is, and of course the score is also brilliant, as it always is. I love the atmosphere of this film. I love the environment. I love the way it's an Arctic base. I love so much about this film. I implore you, it's an absolute Halloween classic. And possibly this is one of the best horror movies of all time, if not the best. I'd definitely watch it around this Halloween. Guys, that's all from me, Jordan McFilmMyself, with this, hopefully, spectacular Halloween special. This has been so much fun to make, guys. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been very spooky and very creepy for all you guys out there. Please smash that spooky subscribe button, smash those creepy like buttons, and please tell your friends about this spectacular Halloween special. Guys, I've had so much fun making this, and I'll see you in the next video. Holy crap, it's warm in there. I can breathe now. Let's go edit this bad boy. It's gonna take like 4 hours.
Owie!
What do you want, you creep?
You're so...
Ah!